What's up, everybody? It's me, E-Man from E-Man's Movie Reviews, and I just got done watching episode 7 and 8 of the Last Dance, the Michael Jordan documentary. Whew, man. Okay, they definitely started this one off rough with MJ's father being murdered. It's crazy because I remember when all that happened, like it was definitely news, right? But the crazy thing about it was like, all the rumors about Michael Jordan's, gambling and all of that, and how that might have been a cause to it. I don't know. I mean, I just know it was messed up that he got murdered, period. Regardless of the reason why, it's just, that was just crazy. And plus you could see, even as a fan, you could see the effect it had on MJ, because he just, it was always him and his dad. His dad was like everywhere. So just kind of getting that news was just kind of like, it hurt. It hurt a little bit, back then. But then the documentary goes into just MJ being a straight up terror. Like, my man was out here terrorizing his his teammates. And you know what? I'll be honest. I never really cared for Scott Burrell. Not to say that I hated him or nothing like that. I thought he was like a nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like he just didn't do anything. He was a random role player. And I will say though, he definitely got my respect in terms of how he was able to put up with MJ's bullying, because MJ was a bully. And he just, turned the other cheek. He ain't really have to, resort lower, and, he ain't like fight or nothing like that. So, Scott Burrell, you got my respect. That was pretty, I'm glad that they kind of showed that, for him. But then, oh my gosh, that game against the Knicks when MJ retired and Scottie Pippen, bruh. I had no idea Scottie had quit like that. That was some real legit selfish stuff. Don't get me wrong. I understand his feelings of, feeling like he was being disrespected or whatever. But it's like, bro, even MJ had been asked to not take the final shot or to, pass the ball or whatever. And y'all literally won championships because of that. And now your ego is going to take over for one game. Like, I, man, I in the previous couple episodes when they talked about, when MJ had talked about Scottie being selfish, I kind of was like, dang, MJ, like, that's kind of messed up. Because, Scottie's been underpaid and everything. But now it seems like I see Scottie's had like a track record of being legit selfish. And that was not cool at all. And the fact that he said, like, I wish it never happened, but I do it all over again. Like, what? Like, do you mean you not do it again, or you would do it? I don't know. But either way, I do appreciate the fact that Pip made up for it with that nasty dunk against Patrick Ewing. So it was fine. It was fine after that. But you know what? It's the whole MJ being a bully thing. Like, I get it. I think it was good for MJ to have a time to speak on that, because at the end of the day, you can tell that he just really cared about winning that much. He cared so much. He wanted to dish out tough love, and he used his crude humor and, just the bullying tactics to get that point across to people. When he said that, a lot of people, like, especially, Steve Kerr and them, and like, people were just kind of coming on to the ride, like they weren't here for the first three championships and stuff. Man, I get it, and the fact that he ended episode 7 getting all teary eyed and stuff, and it was just because of how much he wanted to win. One thing you could never say negatively about MJ is that he wasn't competitive, and he was so competitive that clearly everything around his competitiveness meant something to him. And that included his teammates, who, if y'all was slacking, he was going to do what he had to do to get you up on that level. But, episode 7 was okay. It didn't have as much gold, I guess. But episode 8, that was something. Now, I like how it was kind of funny how BJ Armstrong kicked it off and he was just feeling himself. It's so funny because you would think after so many years of playing in the league and so many years of playing with Michael Jordan, people would just get it. Shut up. Don't say nothing to him. If you're going to have a good game, be quiet. Don't say nothing because Mike's insane. Michael Jordan is ridiculous. What, LeBradford Smith dropped 37 points or something, and what did he say to Mike? Nice game, Mike. That's all he said. He said nice game, and Mike took it as, what you say about my mama? Like, that's how MJ's mind works. Michael Jordan is crazy, because his petty mode just got activated. This man LeBradford Smith dropped 37 points in the game. MJ was like, I got you. I got your nice game. I got your good game, Mike. I got you. And he gonna drop 36 points in a half in the next game? Why? Mike, why you gotta be so mean? Oh, Mike was just, he the most dangerous place an athlete can live is in the mind of Michael Jordan. You can't even tell this guy have a nice game. It's ridiculous, But I thought Mike's pettiness is just hilarious. They showed like when he retired and how he was coming back. I remember the year when he came back, because that was also when they started debuting the black Chicago Bulls jerseys. Love those jerseys. And I remember the 45, like you could see it in his game, like he was rusty. The crazy thing is, rusty Michael Jordan was still better than like most people still, at that point. So that was cool. And I remember when he got rid of 45 and he put 23 back, it was almost like everybody in the city of Chicago was just like, okay, now we're back, But then, man, losing to Orlando, it was rough. But I remember it was understandable. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody was kind of like, yeah, okay, we lost, but it's cool. MJ had like 18 months off. We're going to come back. It's fine. And the Mike's trainer, when he was talking about like, after they lost, and instead of taking days off, Mike was like, yo, I'll see you tomorrow. And that, I'm telling you, man, that you have to tip your hat to MJ. Like, this dude worked at his craft. He worked and worked and worked. When they started talking about Space Jam, which I had no idea about, they built him a practice facility, a training facility. And I'm sitting here like, yo, most people that go shooting movies or athletes or whatever, that's kind of like vacation. That's stuff they go do in the off season. Mike said, hey, I'll shoot your little movie, but I need to work too. Wow. They made this man a practice gym. He had his weights and stuff there. You're shooting in the morning, you're hooping, you're working out, you're training, you're scoping. And I don't know why any other NBA players fell for this, but they went to go practice with MJ. And MJ just sitting there taking notes like, oh, okay, that's how you play, Reggie? All right, cool, I got you. Oh, Patrick, that's what you doing now? Okay, cool, all right. And Mike's just sitting there taking mental notes the whole time. Ooh. First of all, when they were sitting there talking about like, oh, these are the best of the best, Reggie Miller's here, Patrick Ewing is here, Shawn Bradley's here. Shawn Bradley? Like, Shawn Bradley? Don't get me wrong. I remember Shawn Bradley when he was playing, but I don't recall him being a great player. I, to this day, have not heard people talk about, the great Hall of Famers like Patrick Ewing and Magic Johnson and Shawn Bradley. Like, Why was he in that conversation? But whatever. Um, yeah, so that they went through that. They finally, addressed the Steve Kerr, and MJ practice situation. Now, what I liked about that story, I mean, I had heard about that a long time ago. I didn't know that Steve Kerr, initiated it though. I mean, granted, MJ was kind of provoking the whole thing, but I didn't know Steve like threw the first elbow or whatever. But what I liked about that conversation was how they dealt with the whole situation. Mike realized like, oh man, I went too far. I'm picking on like the smallest dude there, and the fact that they was able to like just be adults. You know what I'm saying? Like Mike picked up the phone, called Steve Kerr up. They both sitting there talking it out, getting to a place of understanding. I'm like, yo, I respect that level of adult maturity, for them to really check themselves and realize, okay, we on the same page. Everything is done. You know what I'm saying? And we about to go win these championships. And they did that, and I remember that year, in 95, 96 when Rodman came and we had Kukoc and everybody was just hitting on all cylinders. And it almost felt like everything was on automatic. You know what I'm saying? Like that 72, win season, it was almost like, yeah, like we just gonna win. We just gonna keep winning, and I remember as a Bulls fan, you just sitting there watching like, oh, it was, I don't even want to say it was pointless watching the game, but it's like, you never felt nervous, because the team was that good. It was like we just dominated everybody, and it was just such a beautiful thing to see. And what I liked the most about it was the fact of like after losing to Orlando the previous year, you could see Mike was focused. He was not playing no games. Like Mike was like, yo, y'all beat me last time. This whole season, I'm coming for everybody's necks, and then of course that brought on the Seattle Supersonics, who I've always respected. I've always respected them. And I know they were saying in the video that like, it was expected that the Bulls were just going to dominate them and stuff like that. I don't remember thinking that, because Gary Payton and Shawn Kemp, yo, they were not a joke, and Detlef Schrempf, like Seattle was a legit team. And when they talked about George Karl, why would George Karl sit here and not acknowledge MJ? You know how MJ felt about Isaiah Thomas with the no handshake, and George Karl, you just gonna act like you ain't got no sense. And MJ was like, oh, word? You not gonna talk to me? Bet. Got you. And MJ's mind just started going off, just getting crazy. Man, but I gotta say, the funniest parts in this entire documentary had to have been Gary Payton, talking about George Karl, like, man, F what you talking about. I'm sticking MJ. And then Gary was feeling himself a little too much. Seattle was coming back. They had their little 2-game run and everything. And look, I've been saying this whole documentary is going to give a new generation full of memes to enjoy. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, when MJ started reading Gary Payton's comments and stuff, you could tell MJ was just laughing. Like, MJ was laughing like he was Sagat from Street Fighter. He was just like, that came straight from the soul. You could tell. But yeah, that was definitely a dope series. And that championship run was amazing. To this very day, I cannot stand Randy Brown. Randy Brown kept trying to fight MJ for that last game ball. And I'm sitting here like, what are you doing? Randy Brown, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, do you not know you're Randy Brown? What are you doing? Get off the ball. Let MJ have that game ball. And it was Father's Day. It was the whole memorable thing and the championship. Randy Brown, what are you doing? Oh, just the nerve, the audacity. Like, bro, get off that. Get off that. But anyway, I'm looking forward to the next two episodes. You know, now we finally get into the Reggie Miller, stuff, and I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, let me know, what did you think about The Last Dance, the last two episodes, 7 to 8. What were some of your favorite parts in there? And did you learn anything new about MJ or about the Bulls or anything in general? Let me know in the comments down below. And hey, I'll see you guys later.